You've connected to Cisco Unplugged.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 80 of Cisco Unplugged, your show for all things wireless. I'm Dan Klamert, your host. And this week, Al is out. He's at a customer site, so it's just myself and our special guest today. This week, we're going to be talking about some new and exciting changes to Cisco's wireless certification program. So I would like to welcome Andrew Richter to the show. How are you doing, Andy?
I'm doing well, Dan. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for attending or joining us today to discuss some of these new changes. Appreciate it.
You bet. Well, long-time listener, first-time caller. Excited to be.
Well, really appreciate you having you on the show, Andrew. So before we get started here, just a couple reminders for our viewers. First of all, thanks for tuning in. We do, as usual, take questions via Slido. So if you want to join, you can join via the QR codes on the screen now, or you can click the link below the video on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, we are live on YouTube. We do have those videos up there on YouTube after the fact as well on our channel at youtube.com/@getunplugged. So if you go out there and subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, you will be notified when we do go live with other great content like this. So, please don't hesitate to ask any questions we have here, but we do have kind of an FAQ and should be a good discussion here today. So let's get after it here. Let's get unplugged. And Andrew, so you are, talk a little bit about you first. So you're a technical education content developer for Cisco. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So I work in the team that actually creates our content for Learning with Cisco. So our courses, specifically, I work on enterprise networking, and even more specifically, work on wireless.
Okay.
So the wireless specialist courses, not the exams, but the courses. So the specialist exams, and then some of the new exciting stuff we're going to be talking about today as well.
Nice. How did you get into that?
I've been with Cisco for a little over 25 years now. So
Okay.
I've played a few different roles, but wireless has always been my kind of my underlying technology that I've always worked with. Even before I was at Cisco, I did some very early, even pre-IEEE standardization 802.11 network installs. So
Nice.
I've been doing Wi-Fi and various forms of wireless now for probably almost 30 years.
Nice. Well, thanks so much for joining us. I had saw an internal communication on these changes coming, and I joined a webinar you did, and it was such a great webinar. I just thought I'd have you here on the show and educate a lot more than just myself, because this is something near and dear to my heart, but also a lot of others out there. So I had just taken a test in December and then saw this and was very nervous. So that's one of my questions later, but I'll hold it once we get into this. But so I guess let's talk about what's new.
All right, yeah. So let's go in with kind of what's new and what's changing. What's with specifically with wireless certification.
Yeah.
The big item is we are bringing the CCNP wireless and in general a wireless certification track back into the overall portfolio.
Nice.
Something we'd had for a while, and then around 2020 it went away.
Yep.
And we've really recognized the need for wireless specific certification, training, education. Things are a lot different with wireless compared to traditional networking. And there was this idea that it was an element of enterprise networking. So that's why we made the change back then. But now it really has, wireless has really come into its own, especially around Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7, the ubiquity of wireless, but also the mission, how mission critical it is. And frankly, the challenges that come with designing and implementing and troubleshooting a really quality wireless network. So we really said, hey, we need to have a wireless specific focused track. So something a few of us have been pushing for a while to bring back, and we're happy to say that we're making it happen.
This is great. Yeah, I couldn't be more excited. And especially out there for those that maybe think that wireless is voodoo magic, this might be a good track for you to maybe uncover some of the the realities of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of funny because there's
Spectrum.
wireless. I've always used, there's the people that are wireless that very on have always treated like, oh, would you like fries with that? Oh yeah, we need a little bit of wireless in the network. And there's
Sure.
the ones that are just like, yeah, total. It's voodoo. It's magic. I don't quite know how it gets. And then there's the hardcore. And
Yep.
our goal is to get the voodoo people into understanding a little bit better, and get the
Yep.
fries with that to understand. No, it's a game changer. It's mission
Yes.
critical, and also as we're looking a lot more towards what's happening and on the OT side of the world,
Yeah.
and how Wi-Fi is really playing a big role there. Our certifications and testing and courses and stuff right now don't specifically focus on that aspect of it, but
Yeah.
you got to understand both. You got to understand the whole picture, especially because RF does not respect walls or cables. So
Correct. Yep. Very true.
cool.
Nice.
So let me kind of get in the nuts and bolts of the process. Wire. To achieve a CCNP wireless, you're going to need to do a core exam plus a specialist exam. We've had the
Okay.
specialist exams out, the wireless design and the wireless implementation courses and exams. And what we're introducing is wireless core. So people who are familiar with the CCNP track, they're used to the enterprise core, or we have the security core, DC core. There's always that the main exam you need to take plus one or additionals to achieve the CCNP. So we're bringing out wireless core. It's coming out March 19th is when the exam is going to be released.
Okay.
It is also going to become the qualification exam for the wireless practical lab for CCIE.
Okay. Nice. So there's a path there to CCIE wireless. That's great.
Exactly. And that's always been, that's been some other feedback is like, okay, well, I'm taking all this stuff with enterprise networking, and then I'm going to go take my wireless lab. It's like, no, this is more of a, and as kind of typical with Cisco from a training and certification, when you make that jump from NP to IE, there is a big step. We don't have a prescribed take this course, this course, this course. You're ready for your practical.
Yeah.
But this sets the foundation in, if you have that solid foundation to really work on the practical side of when it comes to getting prepped for a lab. Nice.
Makes sense.
So speaking of the specialist exams, I know this is when you reached out to me and said, wait a minute, I took this test. What's going to be happening here? We've had the design course and the implementation course. March 19th, the exam and the exam number will be changing. The content is 100% the same. We're not updating these at all as part of this transition. Really, if you look at it, what we've done is we've knocked the EN off of the name for all intents and purposes right now, just to say, okay, this is the wireless track, not the enterprise networking track. Just because there's the name change and the number changing, though, we are not stranding anybody as far as what's going to happen towards achieving the NP. Those exams have the regular countdown 3-year. They're good for the specialist exams. As long as you've taken it within the last 3 years of when you take your wireless core exam, you're going to get your NP. We're not stranding anyone. And people are like, well, how do I know where I am on the countdown? Have you had to do a research on those specialist exams? If you haven't, you're still in the clear.
Gotcha. Great. Yeah, this is what I was, like you said, had reached out or was worried about, because it's like, oh, I literally just took that test. Is it all for naught? And no, that's great that we're, of course, giving people the credit for what they've done recently. And so I think it was 300. Yeah, it was the designing enterprise wireless networks 300 to 425 that I passed. So that's good to hear. So just to recap then, just so I make sure I'm on the same page and we're all on the same page. So, CCNP enterprise was we had the EN core, and then we had a specialist exam that we could select. And, one or two of those was wireless. I think there was maybe a designing and a managing.
There's the designing or the implementation, and it was an either or. You needed the enterprise core and one specialist exam. For the wireless CC
Sure.
or for the wireless CCNP,
Sure.
all we're doing is basically, you can think of it as we're swapping out the core exam.
Yeah, so a new track, CCNP wireless, a new core exam. We're probably pulling some of those questions that were related on the maybe Encore potentially to wireless into that, or no? Is that?
Well, you're stealing my thunder. I'll move to the next
Oh,
one.
okay,
What
all
are the
right.
changes that are coming with Encore? Um,
Okay,
on the 19th, Encore, the exam version is going to move from version 1.1 to 1.2. And
okay,
what we're doing is we're wiping the wireless questions off of the Encore exam.
I see.
Uh, there will, as Encore as a course, because we have to keep the differentiation between what we have for training content, what we do for the exam.
Hmm.
Immediately for the exam, we're pulling those questions out. So they will not be part of that anymore. If you go to the certification page on Cisco.com for Encore, there's a full blueprint there of everything that's available, of what's going to be on the exam and that. And you'll notice version 1.1 to 1.2, really it's that wireless section has just been literally just been crossed off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and some of that material that was covered does fall within wireless core. So will there be some similar questions there? Yeah, but I mean, wireless core has been developed entirely as its own exam
Gotcha.
blueprint. Also all the areas that are covered in that is also on the certification page on Cisco.com for it.
But there's probably, and again, I don't want to keep stealing your thunder here, but I'm assuming we're going to talk a little bit about some of maybe the new stuff on the exam too. New topics.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
It
Primarily
is.
like cloud and things like that, and some
Yeah,
updates.
it is current for sure in that it's Wi-Fi 6, 6E, Wi-Fi 7,
Nice.
On-prem versus cloud. From a course perspective, we're in the process of developing the wireless core actual course. It's primarily going to be e-learning. There will be an instructor-led as well for it.
Yeah.
We're focusing a lot on-prem primarily
Nice.
for that, because it is very much the traditional wireless controller based. We do
Nice.
touch on some with the with cloud managed as well. And you can expect down the road, I don't have dates or anything to talk about, that the design course and that implement course will be updated, and you'll see a lot more of the cloud and newer technologies, more contemporary technologies coming into those as well.
That's good to hear, because when I'm, sometimes there's the reality of what's happening today in my day job or in my life, and then there's answering the questions of how they were at that particular point in time in the exam. So
Exactly.
it's like I have to think back, not that we ever change our licensing, here at Cisco, but but if I have to think back to like a previous licensing methodology, it's like, okay, well, how did that, maybe that's not the latest and greatest. So that's great to hear some of these updates. So
Yeah, and one of the things that we've really worked on bringing into this, because we're bringing wireless into its own thing really, and its own track. That means we can also make changes and updates to the content on a more regular basis.
Yeah, love that.
We're going with a much more and kind of this whole idea of utilizing Cisco U as a platform for delivering e-learning as well. We can do it very modularly. So
Nice.
new technology comes out, or there's a significant shift in something, we can update one module for it. We don't have to do our traditional every couple of years respin an entire course.
That's great.
And that's really kind of gotten us to where we're always a couple steps behind.
Mhm.
Also, not the focus on this version of the controller has this capacity, this has this capacity, much more
Exactly.
getting away from the product specific. We know people can read data sheets.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
why would you use a high capacity controller versus a lower capacity, high availability,
Exactly.
scalability, the technical reasons, not the what does one product number do versus the other. So
Nice.
trying to get an abstraction in there. APs, it's to understand, well, this is a Wi-Fi 6 versus a Wi-Fi 7, but
Sure.
which specific model, we're trying to get away from that as much as we can, because the technology changes. We're going to keep having new models come out, and we always want the training to be as current as possible for people to be able to say, okay, well, I know the exam may be lagging a little bit because of just how those get updated, but the course is always, as current as possible.
Yeah.
Is what we can do with that. So it's valuable training regardless of whether you're going for the cert or not.
Yeah, I love that. Last thing I want to do is go take a test and be haunted with questions from the 5760 or something along those lines.
Exactly.
I should, we might have to go back and edit that out. I don't even want to mention that.
Except I don't. I'm going to have some nightmares now.
Exactly. Sorry, Andrew.
So the last thing we're doing as well that I want to touch on is we're also updating the wireless practical lab.
Yes.
So there will be cloud managed. So Meraki's coming into this Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7. Again, it's going from version 1.0 to 1.1 of the lab. All the technologies are being updated and being brought to current, as well as adding the new areas. Like I said, more than just the Meraki Wi-Fi 6 and 7, but these are the main things to cover. Again, full blueprint available on Cisco.com. Anyone who's getting ready to do the lab is going to be well versed in all the different elements that are there. But we're really kind of, soup to nuts, taking care of the whole wireless, defining this track all the way out from our wireless foundations. It's available on Cisco U as a course, all the way through the IE practical, making all the stuff, streamlined. It's our own thing. We're going to update something in one spot. We're going to make sure it's consistent all the way through. Really kind of give it the attention that it's needed, given how critical, some of us have always felt Wi-Fi is super critical, but even more so, just the competing technologies and other things like that as well. It needs to have its own track. And it's something that
Absolutely.
even in Cisco Live, people have been coming up and asking, said, hey, when can we get some more focused wireless specific things? And we're happy that we're making it happen.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, so a couple questions along these lines then. So, if I today, like if I want to start on this track, basically I can, well, I shouldn't say today, I should say next month, March, after March, was it
March 19th?
19th. Okay, sorry. I got to pay closer attention here. So March 19th, and I go and take the new wireless core exam, then I can go and sit after passing, I can go and sit for the lab, the wireless lab, CCIE wireless lab exam.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
And
got
if
a
I
couple.
took the,
I've got a couple questions here that we can step through that'll kind of clarify on some of these things. I do have one.
yeah, one other question real quick before and on the IE then. So this is it. Yeah. So this,
Yeah.
if I already passed the encore, can I still go? Yep, it looks like
Yes.
yeah.
If you've passed your encore, you can sit for the wireless, and you can also still sit for the enterprise networking as well.
Okay.
So for the next, for that 2-year window and passing your encore to be the lab qualifier,
Yep.
you can use it for both.
Nice. Love that. That's great.
Yeah, because I know we have some people who are passing it specifically for the wireless side, but now it gives you the option to go both directions. So
Sure.
we want to make sure that we're as best as possible covering all the potential goals that our learners were setting for themselves.
Now let's take a trip down memory lane here for a minute. Now, wasn't there a CCNP wireless track before?
Yes,
And are those people grandfathered in, or if they're still current, or I don't even know if they were able to stay current. So correct me if I'm wrong.
The way that transition happened, there's no way to grandfather them in.
Okay.
So what happened in February of 2020, when there was a big basically a top-down reorganization of the way the certifications and things were done.
I see.
The wireless CCNP went away.
Okay.
And anyone who had it was transitioned to the then new enterprise networking CCNP.
That's right. I remember this now. Okay. Yep.
So even if you were transitioned to the enterprise networking and you've kept that current, there's still no back path.
Yeah, that makes sense, because this is a new wireless specific certification track, and that was not necessarily, that was more, we'll say wired or EN centric track.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly. And honestly, between prior to 2020 and now, a lot has changed within wireless.
Yes.
I mean,
I'll say I don't even remember what version of wireless
RF is
we were
RF, but beyond that,
yeah, the RF is the RF. You're right, but yeah, a lot has changed. I don't even remember what version of wireless we were on, or Wi-Fi we were on, I should say, at that point in time. But happens
we were
so fast.
I can't. I'm sure AirOS was in there somewhere and a
Yep.
few other
Yep.
things,
I'm
but not
sure.
sure what all.
Yep.
Yeah, so there isn't a path there. We
Okay.
are once our learning is finished being created for this, we are looking at doing something where those who have held it in the past, and we do have the list of everyone who did.
Hmm.
We're going to do something that we can't, we're working on what we can do for programmatically to make it easier for them to pursue wireless core. So can at least work through that part of it. So we can't there won't be a full grandfathering, but we are working on putting a program together where there will be something for those who have held it in the past.
Okay, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah. So, if we kind of do top down, what do I need to do to get my CCNP wireless?
Yeah.
You're going to need to pass the wireless core exam,
Hmm.
and then you're going to need to pass one of the two specialist exams.
And there's no order, right? Like if you do them backwards, like me, like if I pass the 300, 420, whatever, which is now going to be is that 300-110 now?
110, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can go back and take the wireless core, right?
Exactly. If you think of it for those of us who have been around a long, long time ago, when the CCNP route switch used to be 4 or 5 tests, it didn't
Oh,
matter what
yes.
order you took them in, as
That's
long
right.
as you ultimately get all the check marks,
Yep.
then you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this also helps for those who have already done some of the specialist exams, whether they were doing it to pursue towards their CCNP enterprise, or just
Hmm.
I want to learn wireless networking. I want to learn the implementation. I want to learn, do a
Yep.
deeper dive into design. We do have people who hold those certs, who have passed the specialist exams, and now
Hmm.
they're just the core test away now.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and then I know this is the one we touched on with you.
Oh, yeah.
I've passed those
Hmm.
exams. Will they carry forward? Yep, you have 3 years from the date that you passed the specialist exam to complete your wireless core, and
Got
then
it.
at that point you'll get the NP for wireless.
Okay. Yeah. So you need to go into your cert tracker, basically the portal, check when when you took it, how long you have left, and that make sure that there's overlap there, and you can potentially leverage that. For
Exactly. Yeah. Just check your dates
Yep.
is the most important thing. And then for those who already hold other certs, other Cisco certifications, the thing is, as you're working through these courses, working through these exams, now taking
Hmm.
exams also count for continuing education.
Okay. Yeah.
That's something we recently announced, that not only completing Cisco training, but actually sitting for the exams, you also get CE credit. So
Hmm.
as you're pursuing this, it's also a good way to keep your other certifications current. And so if I was happy to see the change on the counting the exams as well, because there are a lot of people who maybe I've done the prep, or I can prep on my own for some of this. I don't necessarily
Sure.
need to take the course, though we the courses in and of themselves are good learning.
Yes.
But maybe I just want to take the test. You can still get the CEs for
Sure.
that.
So the reverse of that still remains true for like the CCIE, right? For recertification of my
Yes.
CCIE, like I can continue through continuing education credits, and if I meet those goals or those minimum thresholds, I should say, then I can recertify through that path. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
The CE, you can think of the continuing education credit, the
Mhm.
CEs, is just like it's, just a pool of points that as you're doing your different things. And live by the cert tracker, know your dates, know where
Yep.
you are in your CEs.
Yep.
But yeah, so if you hold an IE in enterprise networking, or could be in one of the other technologies as well. If you
Mhm.
start pursuing the wireless, the CEs you'll get here will also count towards your keeping your IE active.
Nice. But just to clarify, the continuing education credits, that's not going to help me recertify my NP.
Not for this now.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Okay. Just making sure.
Let's see. I'm trying to think if we have any other. Oh yeah, this was the other one we covered. If
Yep.
if you already passed your encore, you're good for your to still sit for the wireless practical if you want. Very important question that I have seen from a couple of people this game. I've passed,
Oh,
I've passed
yes.
my encore. which wireless lab am I going to get?
Yeah.
Uh, the
That's
cutoff date
important.
on this is going to be, again, everything is revolving around that March 19th date.
Okay.
If you sit for the wireless lab March 18th or earlier, you're going to get the current version.
Mm.
Starting the 19th, it's automatically going to be the new blueprint, the 1.1 that has the Meraki, has the Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7. Again, the blueprint is out there.
So
So
yeah, I know this is probably a tough question to answer, but so if I'm in the middle of this cycle right now and I maybe I've attempted once already and or maybe I was just about to take it here, I guess how different, in other words, am I going to be able to, jump in here in March, April, late March after the 18th, April, May, whatever, and is it going to be like a completely different exam, or is it going to be tweaked, or somewhere in the middle, or
unfortunately, I don't have visibility to that without actually sitting to take the lab, and then I would be
Gotcha.
sworn, that I'd be sworn to secrecy.
Yep, of
So
course.
my guidance on that is check the blueprint.
Yep.
Blueprint's pretty detailed as far as what's covered technology wise and what's covered hardware wise.
Okay.
So you can see from there, from the hardware perspective, there's a pretty significant change in what's in the lab
Okay.
from a hardware perspective. But definitely check all the requirements that are there, and then that would really be your kind of your comfort level.
Yeah.
As we've talked about, there's the studying and preparing for stuff, but what am I doing in my day job and
Exactly.
hands-on every day? For a lot of people, that transition is actually going to be really easy. For others that have maybe been very much focused on deep dive into the lab prep and almost kind of walling that off from everything else,
Hmm.
really take a look at that blueprint and see where your comfort level is, and with the newer things that are coming in.
Makes sense. That's fair. Thanks.
Okay. Have we had any questions come in online for
Yeah,
anything that
not
we
any
we, we didn't
additional.
touch on?
Yeah, not any additional ones. No, it looks like we've covered them all. So, so yeah, I guess last call here for questions. If I see any other FAQ ones, or was that pretty much it? I think this was a great
That's
summary.
that's what I had for the FAQ. I would say also we do have some good discussion threads going on the Cisco Learning Network.
Ah, yes.
So if anyone comes up with questions there, any additional questions, feel free to drop them there. I monitor that every day. I take a look, as well as with any people who come in after this and are watching this from a recorded perspective,
Yes.
that didn't have the chance to put them in live here. That's your best bet there. Some of these have already been touched on, but I'm sure there's gonna be some other questions as we get closer, both to the release dates as well as to the training for the wireless core will be coming online soon. Actually on Cisco U right now, for people that have Cisco U All Access, the first module, the first track is available, so they can take a look at that aspect of it, start getting their dipping their toes in on the
Nice.
wireless core training. And we will be looking at releasing a couple additional modules over the next month or two as we finish that course up. We'd like the ability to have for our all access users to kind of get a preview of the course that's coming. You won't be able to get your CEs or anything for it until we finish the whole thing and have it fully released, but you can at least start
Sure.
taking a look there and get an idea of what you also might be needing to do as far as prepping for the exam, if that's the direction you're going.
Nice. Well, thank you very much, Andrew. This has been a great episode here discussing the new changes coming to the Cisco wireless certification track. I think these are all great changes. So thank you for all your work on this. And wireless, obviously, this show is dedicated to wireless, but it's uh it's a huge career track out there, and we've got a lot of our viewers and a lot of professionals out there in general that have dedicated their careers and profession to it. So really appreciate your investment in that and giving back through that. And thanks again for the time. Anything else? Any other wrapping comments?
I'd just like to thank you guys for the opportunity to come on the show. And I said at the beginning, long time listener, first time caller, happy to be part of this. And anything comes up in the future, I'm happy to jump back on with you guys. Thank you very
Yeah,
much for
that'd be
the
great.
come
Yeah,
and hang
we'd
out.
love to have you back. Thanks so much, Andrew. Yeah,
You
so
bet.
with that, we'll just remind you of if you do have questions after the fact. Andrew had mentioned specifically to this, you can hit the communities there. Also, you can always reach out to us at getunplugged@cisco.com. I love hearing from the listeners here. I just got one yesterday. That was good. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for the feedback. And you can always, subscribe and turn on notifications on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@getunplugged. You'll be notified when we do go live with more great content like this. Also, if you want to get a hold of us as well, email I already mentioned, but you can always reach out through your Cisco account team. You can hit us on Twitter X at Unplugged80211 or on Threads at Unplugged Connectivity. So with that, thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been really informative. Great update on our certification program here in regards to wireless. So until next time, stay connected and unplugged. Thanks.